Hey there, Mark Shelton with Pro Hanger Supply. Pro Hanger Supply is the North, Central, and South American distributor for tapo-fix pasting machines and material dispensers. And today we would like to do a video on the difference between the S-series and the CBX series. One of the main questions I get from people once they decide they are in the market for a pasting machine and they go to the website and they start looking for a pasting machine, they see pretty quickly that there are two different types of pasting machines. So that's one of the main questions I answer. So today we're going to do a little video. It's actually going to be maybe a little bit longer video than typically do because there's going to be a bit of an explanation involved. So if you're not interested in what the difference is between the two, this probably isn't the video for you because there's going to be a bit of dialogue on it. So I'll try to keep it short, but also want to be as thorough as possible because I know it's a big decision, it's an investment, and people want to know what's the difference, which machine do I need. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I am going to use, so we have the S-series again and the CBX series. Now this is the S2032, which is a 32-inch working width pasting machine, and this is the CB75XA, which is also a 32-inch width pasting machine. But there are significant differences about the two machines, and that's what we're going to kind of go over. But these are both 32-inch machines that have identical cousins. So the S2032 has the S2040, which is a 40-inch pasting machine that is exactly the same as this machine in design, function, everything, just a wider working width. And the CB75XA also has the CB1000XA, which is also the cousin of this machine, just in a 40-inch working width. So exactly the same design, function, just wider working width. So I'm using these two machines, but anything I say about the S-series for the 32-inch S-series applies to the 40-inch X-series. Anything I say about the 32-inch CBX series applies to the 40-inch version of that machine. So just to go ahead and we'll get started. Why is there a difference? This machine was the original design, or this is the later generations of the original design that was designed in Europe and marketed primarily in Europe to begin with in the 50s and 60s. And in that region, metalin and cellulose paste are more common. So it was designed differently as a single roller unit. So this machine is not geared, it is friction driven. When you load, you have options to load your material either off the stand or here on this portion of the stand. You can do so for the bottom for wider material, up top for your narrower goods. But the main point is that this is a non-geared system, so it is friction only. So the friction of going from this roller to this roller, shutting the lid and then pulling the material is what activates the roller to turn and pick up paste. There is no feed roller, there's no gears. It was designed that way because with cellulose and metal, which are thinner paste, there weren't really gears needed. But the design was also different. So we're going to kind of get into that here in a minute, why we can now market this in North America, Central America, where we have pre-mixed vinyl adhesives and things thicker, more viscous paste. But it was originally designed to work with metalin and cellulose, and so it's a simpler system, no gears. Originally, in its predecessors, the bottom was flat. There was no tapering of the paste well, so it wouldn't pick up more viscous paste. Recently, new design changes with the CBX series tapered the paste well. Paste now feeds to this roller, and so we're now able to market this in the U.S. because of the tapering of the paste well, and also because pastes have advanced since the original design. And now we have pastes that are more friendly for pasting machines, that when you whip them, they work well. And so we're now able, this works very well with just about every paste on the market other than clay. But you do have to thin it somewhat. 880 not so much, but your thicker paste like 838, 780, things like that do have to be thinned a little bit more than a geared machine. We're going to get into the geared machine here in just a second, but just to kind of explain that, it is lighter weight because it is a simpler system. It doesn't have the feed roller, it doesn't have scraper bar, but that is the primary difference. So the paste adjustment, that is another big difference between the S-series is adjusted, so instead of using a scraper bar, you have adjustments on either side that as it adjusts, it changes the distance of this roller from this stainless steel edge. Another important point is all these machines are made of stainless steel, high quality plastics, high quality nylons. So these are all professional grade machines. These are not DIY machines. So you have an adjustment on either side that goes from 0 to very, very high. So you're not using a scraper bar. You are adjusting the amount of paste that this roller is putting onto the material as it is pulled through. You load your material onto this catch bar, lock it down. As you pull it through, these guide rollers are locking that material down, and the friction is turning that roller. Paste is being put on the roller as it's pulled through, but it is not scraped off in the traditional sense of the paste machines that a lot of installers are used to. It is put on the thickness that you want by setting these dials. So you'll set the dials on the same setting on each side and adjust your paste that way. So there is no removing of the paste. It's put on originally in the thickness that you want. So you don't have the lines, the rows, as people call it a lot of times, of a scraper bar. So that's one thing that makes this machine different than your S-series. You don't have the rows left behind by a scraper bar. It comes with the stand, which is different than the S-type as well. A little bit different system in cutting. Instead of having the cutting edge of the S-series, this comes with a circular cutting knife that is run across this cut line, and that cuts your material. You also have an option for a sliding cutter, which is a difference between the S-type as well. As I said, it comes with the stand, comes with the material bar, comes with the circular cutter, and it is this. So now with the tapering of the paste well and with the advancements of paste, we are selling this, and so both these machines are not shiny and new, as you might notice. A little scratched up, used up. I'm an installer. I use both of these machines, and I use my 32-inch machines extensively because it's the most common material that I install is a 27-inch, 20-inch, that sort of thing. I have been using this machine quite a bit over the last couple of years, and it's become one of my preferred machines. I was a little hesitant because the S-series is what I kind of cut my teeth on, the XS series. But it is working very well for me. I do not like thinning my paste. I don't like adding a lot of water. So when I say the paste has to be thin, I'm talking about very lightly. I'm not talking about watery paste. I'm talking about thinning enough to where your paste sits flat. It doesn't build up in uneven mounds and that sort of thing. But when the paste is thin enough that it lays flat when you pour it in, kind of like to say when you pour it in, it needs to be the consistency of honey at room temperature, to where it lays flat in the paste well. As long as it's that thin, which most of your paste out of the bucket is going to be that way, this machine works fine. Now, if you're a hard liner and you don't want to add any paste to your machine, any water to your paste, you're absolutely against that, then you may want to go with a geared machine. So this is the S-series was originally designed, was predecessor, which is actually the XS and XL series. Some of you may be familiar with that. Was the first geared machines that were introduced as an alternative to the friction-only machines. So when pastes were not so much friendly to pasting machines, and when this did not have a tapered paste well, we needed a product that had gears that could churn through thicker, more viscous paste. So the XL series, XS series, which were the predecessors to this, were invented, and they are geared. So it's still a friction machine, but once you start pulling, there are gears that assist the machine and help the rollers feed, churn through the paste and feed it to the feed roller. It is not a single roller machine as with the CBX. So we'll kind of get into this. To start off with, it does not come with the stand. This is a tabletop machine with a stand as an option. So that is an accessory. Now with the new stands that are available for it, all the accessories that were once only available for the CB series, the short tables, the 44-inch booking tables, the full tables, the little small booking tables, all those things were not adaptable to the S series, but now with these new stands that have these arms incorporated into the design, that you can get for the S-series. You can get your tables, your large tables, your half tables, your short booking tables are all adaptable to this machine now and its 40-inch cousin rather. So to get into this a little bit, you have a latch on your lid. That's one of the difference that locks this lid down. So with real heavy materials, real heavy grasses, grasses with vertical weaves and things like that, this is going to really hold that lid in place and lock that material down. You can see you have a little bit different design in how your material is positioned on the machine. You have these sliding brackets that hold your material, but you also do have the option, if you have the stand, to put it down here as well. So as you can see, this machine uses a scraper bar, and it is a dual roller geared machine. So you have underneath here, you have your feed roller that churns and picks up the paste, and it feeds it to your paste application roller. So big difference in this machine and the CBX is the paste is put on full strength by the application roller. It's picked up by the feed roller originally, transferred to the application roller, and then put onto the material. When you lock this down, the material goes over here, stops on your catch bar. So now paste is going onto your material full strength, as heavy as it can go, and then you adjust how much paste by adjusting the scraper bar. Excuse me, I'm looking at it from the wrong angle. You've got a little set screw here, and you turn your scraper bar. These are notched, and so as you can see on the lid, decrease. If you turn your scraper bar this way, you're getting less paste. Increase this way, it's going to increase because it's opening up to where there's less resistance, less paste being taken back off. So you have very, very accurate control of your paste. You can adjust the levels from 0 to a very heavy amount and everywhere in between with that scraper bar, but you do have the rows that you do not have with the other systems. So that's one thing that some people prefer and some people don't. Now here's your gearing system. The gears are housed inside this stainless steel housing off to the side, so they are not, and with the old series, the XL and XS series, the gears were inside the paste well and they were constantly getting gunked up with paste. This design, the gears are housed inside a stainless steel housing, and so they stay dry, they stay free of paste, and you have a lot of torque and ability to pull through thicker paste. So don't necessarily say this is rated for clay base, but I have plenty of installers tell me that they use clay base in this machine without any problems, with just very thin, very slight thinning. But your heavier paste, your 838, your 780, things like that, don't really require much thinning, because once you start pulling your material, these gears kick in and it's going to turn these rollers so that it doesn't get bogged down with the heavy paste. So that was the original intent of the S-series, was to deal with more viscous paste. But now, like I said, we're the options, we still have options, but it's not so much an issue of the paste anymore. It's more of design and what appeals to you more. Again, this is a heavier machine. The whole internal works of this machine pull out. So cleaning, you take this, set it off in a bucket if you're inside of a confined area where you can't really hose it down, or I just take it, set it on some sawhorses, hose it down. But it also makes changing your paste out really quick and easy. If I'm going from GH34 to 838, pull this out, set it in a bucket, I drain my paste well, put my new paste in, and then I'm back in business. Drain plug on this machine is positioned in this angle. That's a problem for a lot of people. This design has been like this for about 20-25 years since the S-series came out. This year we will be repositioning the drain plug in the bottom center of the S-series machines, in the 32 and the 40, and just the paste box will be available for anybody that wants to replace their paste box. But as of right now, it is positioned there, which is not ideal, but it works, and makes it to where you can drain the machine. You do have to have a brush or some type. It comes with the clean and squeegee. Both machines come with a clean and squeegee that is designed to fit the paste box, rake the paste out when you're ready to clean it. Again, heavier machine, a little bit more weight. Gonna have to put that on the website because I didn't weigh them before I started, and I meant to do that, so I'd have that information available for this video. But it is heavier, probably by about, I'm going to say the machine itself by about 8 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then that difference is going to be a little bit more for the 40-inch versions of each. So that is the primary differences between our two machines. One of the other things, like as I said earlier, all the accessories for the CBX series are now available for the S-series, as far as like your table attachments. One thing exclusive to the CBX series is the sliding cutter, which a lot of people like, which I've become a big fan of. It's one of my favorite accessories. It just adapts, slides on this pin. You have a couple little arms here that tighten down, and now you have a method of when you pull through your material through your machine, it just slides each way. You cut your material, you don't have to reach for a knife, you don't have to use your circular knife. That is exclusive to the CBX series, not available for this. On this you have your cutting edge here, and if you have your short booking table attachment, then you also have a cutting edge on that. Again, stand does not come with this machine, but is an accessory. Stand comes standard with the CBX. So these are the primary differences. I'm probably leaving some stuff out, probably leaving a good bit out, but hopefully these are the main points, and hopefully will help you be able to look at the options that you have. A lot of people ask me, what's my favorite machine? Which machine do I prefer? And I say that's kind of like asking me which one is my favorite daughter. So I can't really say I use both these machines. They both have areas that they're strong in, that they kind of specialize in, that make them a good choice for certain applications and certain people. So hard to say. I use them both. I like them both. But the question is, what works best for you? What's important to you? Is weight an important factor? Is the scraper bar an important factor? Is not having to thin your paste as much an important factor? And so now with this information, you can kind of weigh those facts and those things that are important to you in choosing a paste machine, and hopefully be able to make an informed decision about which one works best for you. So I thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, www.prohangersupply.com. Look forward to talking to you. Thank you again.